You guys ready for the absolute strongest weapon in the entire game? With this, you'll be able to hit up to 7,000 damage in certain scenarios, and be able to hit 3,000 damage in other scenarios, and all across the board, be able to hit 2,000 damage on any enemy in the game. With this, you'll be able to solo enemies at faster than any other way you'd ever be able to do it. You'll be able to beat Flame Gleeok like he's nothing. It's just crazy. All right, here we go. And there we go. A Flame Gleeok in no time flat. The first thing we'll need to do is get a set of armor in Kakariko Village. Kakariko Village is over here on the east. You go to a shop on the north side of town right here. Inside of here, there's this set of armor called the Radiant Armor. Now, it starts off at a base price of 15,000 rupees, but you can talk to this person and do a side quest, and then it'll reduce the price. You just talk about a situation at home, it'll start a side quest. You gotta cook up a dish and stuff like that in order to do that one. Now, it actually will get you the money retroactively, so if you have the money, you can do this now and do the side quest later, and you'll actually get your rupees back. But we're gonna have to buy all 3 pieces of this Radiant Armor. After that, you'll have to upgrade each piece twice in order to get the set bonus unlocked. You can do that at the Great Fairy Fountains. If you don't have the Great Fairy Fountains unlocked, check the description of this video below the first paragraph. I'll have a link to my guide on how to unlock all 4 Great Fairy Fountains, but you'll want to upgrade each one twice. Once you have all 3, you put them all on, and it'll show you the set bonus. It won't show the set bonus until you put all 3 on. And they'll all each have 24 armor, which is not bad. Also, the hardest part is you're going to need 75 luminous stones. You're also going to need some bokoblin guts and moblin guts or whatever. The luminous stones, you can get them up in the sky. I want to say it was this place. It was one of these islands around here. You'll be able to find an island with some luminous stones on it. You can also go into a cave right here. For like a hole in the ground, there's some luminous stones in there. And I think once you do one temple, the fire temple, I mean, you can go to Lookout Landing. There's a giant cave under Lookout Landing. They enter through the emergency shelter. And then from there, you can run around and try to find even more luminous stones. After that, you'll have to head to Gerudo Town in the southwestern part of the map. And from here, we got to kill a Molduga. Now, if you don't have a gear, you can take one of the Skyview Towers, ideally this one, and just fly here with the glider using stamina food. If you need stamina food, just go to this shoreline right over here, grab all the crabs on it, cook them in groups of 2 to make stamina restore foods. Then you can just fly from the Skyview Tower all the way to Gerudo Town. Then from here, the shrine on top of Gerudo Town, you're just going to glide to the north. Now, you don't need to get rid of the sandstorm. You can actually go in here while there's a sandstorm and find the Molduga. So from a distance, you kind of see him roaming around out there before all this comes in. So we saw one just north of here. So we're just going to hit this thing, go back up, and then keep heading forward and take a look for him. Now, he'll hunt us in the sand anyway, so we don't need to get super, super close to him, but we just need to get around here somewhere to find him. So after that second wind, we came up right up on him. Now, in order to fight him, what you've got to do is you need to take either a bomb or a time bomb, and then you need to put it on the ground, which will make him come up and eat it, which then he'll explode and fall to the ground, which will let you get free hits. Just be careful of when he gets up, because he'll hit you on his way up and do a ton of damage. So you'll either want some fairies, or you'll want to just be careful and not get too overly aggressive with him. I'm going to go ahead and speed this fight up, though, and show you the rest of it. So once you defeat a Molduga, he will drop the Molduga Jaw, which is the strongest bone weapon that a bone fuse item that you can put on a weapon and still have it applied towards the bone proficiency bonus. So here's Molduga Jaw. There's other bone items, but for some reason they don't trigger it. That's the strongest one that will trigger that passive. Once you have your Molduga Jaw, you're going to head back to Lookout Landing. You're going to need some stamina food for what we're going to do next, or a flying device, up to you. But you can get some crabs over here, like I mentioned earlier, make some stamina food, and then you can take the Skyview Tower. We're going to fly over to Hyrule Castle over there to the north, and we're going to land in the main throne room, and then I'll show you where to go after that. I'm going to speed this part up so you see where I go, where I land. So now we're at the Hyrule Castle throne room. You're going to go over here to this left area, and you're going to head up these stairs for the next item that we need for the strongest weapon in the game. You're going to go up here, you're going to wrap around to the left like this, and then you're going to go right up here, jump in this little gap by these rocks, and then behind this, there's going to be this item, which is the Royal Guard's Claymore. So now that we have that, I'm going to drop something in order to pick that up. So we're going to grab this Royal Guard's Claymore. So now what you got to do is very, very important. You're going to take this Royal Guard's Claymore, and you're just going to beat it into the ground until it completely breaks. So we don't even want this. We're just going to beat it up. So once you've destroyed the Royal Guard's Claymore, you are all set and good to go. So now we need a Blood Moon. I promise you, we broke that thing for a reason. There actually was a reason we have to do that. So what we're going to do is go to this place, the Sonopan Shrine over here on the map. You can also find some rocks, those destructible rocks inside of caves. Those will also do this. We're going to go here, and we're going to use a spring in order to launch ourselves into the air. If you don't know where to get a spring, you can find a spring at this device dispenser right here, which you can get to from the Sahasra Slope Skyview Tower. Go up here on Skyline, get some springs. Then you're going to go over here. You're also going to need a 5-shot bow. So you're going to get a Lionel bow from defeating a Lionel. You can find a Lionel right here on the map, just to the west of where we are. Beat him and take any Lionel bow. You don't need the super one like I have. You don't need the Savage one. You can use the basic one. And then you'll have to take him to Rock Octoroks in order to upgrade it. So you can go to any of these stamps and go to the Rock Octoroks. And then feed it to one after another until it gets this property called the 5-shot burst. So you'll see here it has 5-shot burst as a passive. Then once you have that, you can spawn Blood Moons whenever you want, which was in a previous video I made. So now we're going to go to here where I was. So just like what I was talking about, Sonopan Shrine. We have all that. We're going to hit this spring, and then we're going to glide over. We're also going to need some rubies. You're going to need some rubies for this, ideally. You can also use sapphires, topazes, or opals, but it's just easier to see what you're doing on this one with rubies for this specific exact spot with these trees. So we're going to go over here. We're going to come down a little bit like this, and then we're going to take our bow. We're going to go in the slow motion thing, and then we're going to look for our rubies, and we're going to equip rubies and start firing them down on the trees. So, my god, I have so many items. Where are the rubies? I thought I'd have them by now. I should have edited this part out, but here we are looking for the ruby. All right, so we're going to take the rubies, and we're going to fire them down at the trees to try to find the one that has a health bar. There he is. And then you're just going to fire 3 or 4 rounds of rubies at this guy. And then you're just going to wait, and your game will play at like 3 FPS, and you'll just let it play like that for a moment. Then it'll knock you over if you're too close, which I was. But if you have a fairy, you'll be fine. And just bam, you'll have a Blood Moon. Now, you can also save your game, and then right when you get hit by that damage, you just load your game, and then the Blood Moon will happen after you load in, and it'll save all your items. You don't have to use the rubies and stuff. It's whichever way you want to do. You can go watch my video on it, though, if you want to know the exact details of it. I'll try to remember to link that in the description as well. But now we did a Blood Moon. Now we can get the pristine version of that Royal Guard's Claymore. So, in order to do that, we're going to have to take a trip to the depths. The exact place we want to go in the depths is going to be right here, the Quorum Light route. You can get to here from this hole in the ground in Kakariko Village, and then from there head to the southwest to get this light route, and then head west to get the Quorum Light route. Now, what we're going to do is there's going to be these random stands in the depths that will hold weapons, and this one will have the two-handed weapon type is what it can spawn, but it can only spawn items that we have destroyed before, which is why we destroyed the Royal Guard's Claymore. Now, before we come in close to this one, there's something that you're going to want to do really bad. You're going to want to save your game once you get, like, close but still far away. You want to be out of render range. So we're going to save our game, and then we're going to go, and once it renders in, it will determine what it is. So we need to save and then go and see what it is, and then if it's not what we want, we'll load our game back, and then we'll run over and do it again. Now, I think if you run over here then save, you'll have to wait for another Blood Moon for it to be something different, though. But if it's not what you want, just make sure, like I said, save out of render range, and then come up, see what it is. If it's not the Royal Guard's Claymore, then just load your game, and then run up again and again and again. Now, if it's the same thing every time, then you might have saved your game too close to the shrine, in which case you'll have to wait for another but you'll have to trigger another Blood Moon, and then come down here and do this again, I think. I don't think you can just leave and come back and have it change, but maybe you can. I didn't test it. Okay, so there we go. The Royal Guard's Claymore only took me one load in my case, because I haven't destroyed very many two-handed weapons, so I got to find something to drop to make room for it. Now we've got the Royal Guard's Claymore, and we are all set for what we're going to do next. Now what you got to do is you got to go to Rock Octoroks, and you got to drop that Royal Guard's Claymore in front of them, and then get them to aggro. They'll suck it up and spit it out. This is repairing and buffing it. And you'll want to save your game before doing this. Although I didn't save before this one, but it is what it is. They can do this once each Blood Moon. So ideally, you're going to not get hit and die from your own Royal Guard's Claymore. Ideally, you'll get a plus 10 attack, which we did not get this time. So what you do is you load your game and do that again. You can go through all of them. What I recommend is just go feeding it to every single one in one of these routes right there. or each of these is marked Octorok, so just go to each of these until you get it. If you don't get it, then load your game back and do it all over again until you get what you want, that plus 10 attack. So there it is, attack up plus 10 on the Royal Guard's Claymore. Now we have the most powerful weapon in the game, at least for what we're going to be doing in this video. Now there's an optional step that I'm going to do. You don't have to do this. I'm going to duplicate a fully restored Royal Guard's Claymore, just so I have a backup of the full restored one, which we're not actually going to be using in this video. But either way, if you want to do this, you got to have rubber armor, full set, shock emitter, a cart, have a house over here with a weapon stand. And if you want to know how to do that, check the description of this video. I'll try to remember to link the actual tutorial for that. So we're going to go over to this weapon stand. We're going to remove this, and then we're going to try to duplicate it like this. Put that on, pull it out, wait a moment. Try again. Okay, wait again. There we go. Now we got 2 of these. So now we have a backup if we want to. So now we're ready. I've got a few different versions of this we're going to go through for different scenarios of how we're going to use this. But the main thing is you're just going to jump and slam the ground over and over and over again because you need to get it one step from broken. Also, I'm going to pop some math up here on the screen thanks to Ape Night Gaming. If you want to go check him out, I'll link to his channel in the description of this video. It's been a helpful guide for doing this. And so the math for this is the Royal Guard's Claymore does 49 damage. Now you add that to whatever you fuse to it, which is going to be the Molduga Jaw, which we'll go ahead and attach right now. So we go to our materials, go to 5 fuse attack power. We have the Molduga Jaw, so we're going to hold that, and we're going to drop that on the ground, and we're going to fuse it with this weapon. So now we've got 32 plus 49 for 81. But then we have the bone armor set that I need to equip now, or the radiant tights and shirt and mask. Gives us the bone weapon bonus, which gives us 1.8 times more damage thanks to that Molduga Jaw. Then this weapon itself, the Royal Guard's Claymore, has that bonus where it yields massive destructive power just before it breaks. So that gets it to where right now it said it was about to break. That gives a ×2 damage multiplier. Then as soon as that message pops up, you can slam 2 more times, just 2, don't do another one. And then you'll have it where it's blinking red and all this, and it is actually one shot from broken. That'll give you a secret crit bonus of no matter what critting, and then you'll do another double damage. Then after that, there's another thing that you're going to want to do, which is you're going to want to put down a portable pot, and you're going to want to cook a certain meal. Not like that. What we're going to do is we're going to go to our materials, and we're going to look for the bananas. So there's Mighty Bananas. This item, you can take 5 of these, or you can add 1 dragon piece with it in order to make it last 30 minutes. You'll cook this, and that will give you the Mighty Simmered Fruit, which gives you max attack up. Now, if you need Mighty Bananas, you can find them over on this island down here, and there's probably other places, maybe in the swamp down here. I never looked, but I know you can find them on this island down here if you need Mighty Bananas. So once we eat that, we'll have another bonus then, and we'll have a total of 874 damage. Now, the catch to it doing it this way is that 1 hit and it's gone, so it's kind of a one-hit wonder. Now, this is perfect for farming Lynels because if you shoot a Lynel in the face, they'll... Hold on. If you shoot a Lynel in the face, then it's, well, supposed to knock them down. There we go. And if you mount them with this thing and you hit them like this, it doesn't actually break its durability. So you can just 3 or 4 or 5 shot Lynels like that with it over and over and over again. So it's an ultimate Lynel farming tool. Not only that, though, you can throw it and or hit an enemy with it normally. And since it's one shot, the explosion thing like this makes it do another 2 times damage on top of that for 1,749 damage. So you can just throw it like that and just basically one-shot most enemies, if not all enemies, in the entire game. But it doesn't end there. If you are going to be doing that, you can actually instead put on a Gibdo bone instead of the Molduga Jaw, because actually it turns out that the Gibdo bone is the absolute strongest thing. So it goes by fuse attack power. It gives 40, but it's the strongest one that affects the bone proc. Now, the reason we don't use it normally is because it only lasts for 1 hit. It's only good for arrows. But if we're going to be throwing the weapon, then you put it on for an additional 40 damage instead of an additional 32, and then you'll be up to a total of 1,922 damage. So then what we're going to do is we're going to put the Gibdo bone on this weapon, and we're going to do something really amazing. We're going to start duping this Gibdo Bone Royal Guard's Claymore, and we're going to get a full inventory of these things. So now for the really fun part, guys. So we have a full inventory of these weapons. If you've used Korok Siege, you can have even a bigger full inventory, which would be way better than what I have here at default inventory size. And I also, really important here, I have a backup of these on a weapon stand. So even if I'm lazy and I accidentally throw all of them and get rid of all of them, I always have a carbon copy that I can dupe from in order to get this ultimate boss-killing weapon. But the fun doesn't have to end there. I'm also going to duplicate bananas, so that way I never have to worry about the attack up food ever again. We're just going to do this dupe. If you want to do this dupe, it actually works in 1.1.2 and is about as fast as the fastest dupe from 1.1.1. I'll link this in the description of this video if I can remember. But let's go ahead and get a ton of bananas, and we're going to cook a ton of those attack up meals. And then I'm going to show you how you can hit for 7,000 damage, like in the title and thumbnail of this video, as well as how to hit for 3,000 damage, well, with this weapon. So in order to hit 7,000 damage, there's a mechanic in this game called a sneak strike. And in order to do a sneak strike, you have to be undetected by the enemies, and you have to, in order to do that while they're active, you can shoot puff shrooms in order to hide, and then you can pull out your Gibdo Claymore, and then you can go up to these enemies while crouching. Sorry, it's kind of hard to do. There's a barrel in the way here. You can go up to the enemies while crouching and perform a sneak strike, which will make you do 7 times damage and do about 7,000 damage to these guys. If you want puff shrooms, by the way, you can find them down in the depths. And I think this was the spot where there were a ton of them around the base of trees. Not 100%. I think this was it, though. So you can just go right there underneath this hole right under Central Hyrule and find a bunch of puff shrooms right there. Then you can shoot your puff shrooms and you can pull out these things, these Gibdo Claymores, and you can sneak strike anything for 7,000 damage. So sneak strike, 7,000 damage. There's a Y button that pops up when you get behind them while, you know, they don't detect you. Now, there's some pros and cons to this. The pros to it is 7,000 damage. The cons to it is that it only works on non-bosses. The super bosses don't have a sneak strike opportunity. But then there's a way to do 3,000 damage, which is applicable to more enemies than just this, but still just not applicable to bosses. So in order to do that, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use something that will freeze the enemies in place. Sapphire's probably overkill. But if an enemy is frozen, now, instead of that 2 times at the end, it gets replaced with the 3 times damage bonus of being frozen for around 3,000 damage. And then that is going to be the 2 ways to hit the craziest amount of damage. Now, sadly, that's not going to work on bosses. Bosses, our only option is to just hit them with these weapons, which is why we duplicated a full inventory of them. So now I'm going to try something really stupid. I'm going to try to kill a Flame Gleeok in record time with the game's most powerful weapons. So we're going to go up to him like this till he aggros. Then we're going to save the game. Then we're going to load the game. Hopefully this lets us get 1 free throw on him. That's what I'm hoping. We'll see how it actually works out, though. So immediately after loading the game, we're going to open the inventory. Put back on the Radiant Armor, because I've got to put it on. And start chucking these things at the heads. Now, if I'm lucky, I can knock all 3 heads out. Come on. Oh my god, the timing was perfectly wrong on the Gus. Okay, 1 head down. Okay, 2 heads. I don't know if I can reach that last one now. Oh, I got him! I got him! Okay, going in. 1, 2, 3. We did it! Insane! The strongest weapon in the entire game. I can't believe we can beat a Flame Gleeok that fast. Well, guys, that's it. That is the strongest weapon in the entire game. I hope this video helped you out. Now you know how to make it. You know how to do 7,000 damage, 3,000 damage, how to make machine gun throwing weapons for 2,000 damage or 2,200, whatever the hell it was I said earlier. Strongest weapon in the entire game, guys. That's absolutely broken. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun with this one. And if I find out more cool stuff, I will keep you guys in the loop and post videos about it. And that is it, guys. That is the strongest possible melee weapon in The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.